Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. Welcome, bienvenidos. My name is Anali Vargas, and I'm the project manager for the San Luis Valley Ecosystem Council. I'm a sixth-generation Valley native, born and raised in Manassas, Colorado. Thank you again, all, for being here tonight. Happy to see familiar faces, and actually, I see a lot of new faces, so thank you for being here. For those that are new, just a quick recap. This is the fourth meeting in Pinellas County in regards to potential National Conservation Area. And I say, again, potential, because nothing has been proposed. This is still, we're having conversations with community members in Pinellas County and other respective communities to talk about permanent protection of our public lands. So again, this is still community discussion. So at each meeting, so for those that are new, at each meeting, community members have brought up concerns, questions, and we've been forming a panel at each meeting to answer these questions. So we've had, like previous panels, we've had ranchers, permittees, our New Mexico BLM, all talk about permits on public lands, different designations, whether anything happens to those permittees. So that was the first panel that we had. That was in Manassas. The second one we did have of experts, recreation experts, San Cristo National Heritage Area, our SLV BLM, educating us on current designations along the Rio Grande corridor, some of the projects that are being done, and of course, recreation on our current public lands and answering questions that community members had about recreation. So one of the questions, or a lot of the questions that have been brought up quite a bit, of course, our water. So this is the San Luis Valley, and one of the things that's been brought up is, well, what about our water? And federally reserved water rights have been one of the questions, high water mark, the natural area, the Rio Grande Compact, et cetera, whether any type of designation would affect water or water rights. So that's why we put this panel together of water experts to answer all these questions for you tonight.
As a preface here, it's in me genetically. What's the difference between a puppy and a water user? Eventually, the puppy grows up and quits whining. I waited till everybody's food was put away and everything before I did that. I tell that joke on purpose, okay? When it comes to water, we're all very emotionally attached because we know what it has to do with our livelihoods, our history, our heritage, our communities. But there's an appropriate way to address it. And sometimes as water users and water rights holders, we want to treat it like it's something we should secrete away and put in a vault in the closet and lock away for a rainy day we can prove we've got water, when in reality, the water belongs to the state of Colorado and has to serve a whole lot of uses. Now, there's decreed uses, there are beneficial uses. I'm not going to trample all over water law. Don't get nervous. But when you look at how hard water can work in a system, you're making better decisions. For example, when the Kines remained an island unto themselves, it was very difficult. Platoro sits at 10,000 feet. Only a third of our watershed is above it. We don't get melt out until it's too late in the season. It's post-compact. We had so few potentials and possibilities with that reservoir. We started breaking down some walls. We started talking collaboratively. CPW showed up with a ton of water and said, if you'll help us exchange water and release it in the winter for the fish, we'll provide it. So we sat around the table with Craig and everybody else and said, how do we make this happen? And CPW gave us water. We worked with Division of Water Resources. We exchanged it into Platoro. We released that water during the winter to help the fish. And guess what? It paid compact. It didn't come out of someone's head gate. That was that many acre feet that did not come out of a head gate. It cost us nothing. BLM stepped up. They provided water. Everybody has been partners in this. So to answer this whole amalgamation of questions and comments, you're never doing the wrong thing to know who your partners are. I think you've got to be honest with what your goals are, and I think you need to also be honest with, do you really have a risk in partnering? I can't answer those questions. It's not, I think as we move forward with this NCA, it's one of those things that you're going to have to do. Like it, hate it, agree with it, disagree with it. I can show you the numbers. Everybody at this table can show you the numbers. We don't have the same water we used to have. And if we're going to continue to move forward, we've got to make more aggressive planning and cooperation so that water works harder as we move through. As addressing to the NCA, for the CNIS, we pay our obligation in Las Alces. We kind of ring the bell. We can kind of wash our hands of it. As far as the state goes, though, it has to reach Lobatos. So maintaining a clear corridor is just like, think of your bathroom plumbing. You sure want that toilet to flush, don't you? You got to make sure those pipes are clean. You want efficiency. You want things to work. The rivers work the same. The better everything is working, the better every system works. I can't address the feral horses without incriminating myself, and so I don't know what to say about that. But I would just say, as the several groups move forward, understand your issues, absolutely. Represent what your needs are, but then honestly see if someone's really crashing in on your needs, or can they be complementary. Have the adult, responsible conversations of, do you really lose what you think you're losing, or are you gaining more? And that would be what I'd say on that one. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate being here, and I really appreciate all the people that showed up. This is a great crowd, and this is an important topic, and so I do appreciate everybody's interest in this and coming out and learning about the water issues and at least what we think about the water issues. So in regards to this question, I'm going to start off with just what the two agencies that Anna was talking about. First, the State Engineer's Office is also the Division of Water Resources. We handle water. BLM is the Bureau of Land Management. They handle land. So there's a difference between even the names of those two agencies. And so I think that's important to keep in mind, that the Division of Water Resources administers water for the state of Colorado, and we administer water for the compact. We deliver water to the state line for compact purposes, and we deliver water to ditches and canals for the use of our water users up here. So I think that's very important. BLM does a great job too. They manage their land, and they manage the BLM's properties around the valley. And we work very closely in a lot of respects with the BLM. In fact, we're working on a couple of different things right now with the BLM. They've got a couple of court cases in water court right now that we're actively engaged in and actively working to help get those through the system and so that the BLM understands the process and can get those through the system in the most efficient manner possible. So I feel like we work well with the BLM, but I did want to just make that comment that it's two separate agencies and two separate ways that we go about doing our jobs. So in terms of the BLM assisting with water issues, I think that is definitely something that could occur, specifically in the Rio Grande Natural Area. I'll mention it since Nathan didn't want to, but the feral horses. That's definitely an issue, and the feral horses and cattle are destroying the riparian area. That in turn does have an impact on us trying to get water down to the state line. So if we have decreased riparian area and degraded riparian area, we have a lot more evaporation occurring, and so we don't get as much water down there, so we have to send more water down to get that amount of water down to the state line that we owe. So those are important things that I think we can work with the BLM to do. There's some other areas of that we could enhance the riparian area down there too. So I think that is something that we could work with the BLM, and that they could really assist in the water issues down at that lower end.
Mr. Robbins, You have worked in the SLV a long time and have facilitated legislative policy on both the state and federal levels. From your experience and perspective, how can managing lands in a comprehensive, planned manner through designated land protection, like the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, which you stated you were very involved with, have a benefit to future generations 20 to 30 years from now? And how does it play a role to enhance community cohesion and economic stability while protecting existing water rights? Whew.
Obviously, I feel very strongly that working cooperatively as a community and treating federal agencies as part of that community as well as state agencies is critical to the long-term stability of any basin in this state or any community in this state. It is absolutely important that federal agencies, however, be given the appropriate guidance by Congress of how they are to participate in that interaction. We are, quite frankly, blessed in the San Luis Valley that we have had federal agencies willing to cooperate with local citizens, with local water users in trying to fashion win-win situations.
Well, I could say yesterday was tax day, and I just know that all of us paid our taxes, and I'm sitting over here, not over there on the panel, so I could take a position, and I'm going to take a win-win position. And I think what we've heard today is that if we really listen through the lines, in our area, in the Rio Grande area right now, in our basin, we're over appropriated. So we can't mess with our water at all. We need every drop that we can have, and that's what we go to these meetings several times a week and involved in these boards to protect that, so we can protect our own livelihoods. Okay, so this is the other deal. Since we pay the taxes, like I mentioned earlier, I think this can be a win-win situation. And so, for example, I've been involved. I'm a permittee. I graze cattle and all that kind of stuff. And this is the one thing that I really see that it would be a win-win situation, is that if we can develop an NCA, but where our water remains unchanged, and just like our attorney said, it's unaltered, it's unchanged. And I think we can work together to enhance what we have. And so the way I see it is that if we protect our water and we protect our grazing under an NCA, then everybody wins out. We can protect those riparian areas, and I protected riparian areas. I own land off a river, off the San Antonio River. I put 3.1 miles of fencing in there, and I couldn't have done it on my own, but I got in RCS help, and I got it done, and that's been great. I have a great riparian area. I have good grazing now there, the whole bit. So it's a win. We can win that way, and then we can have this NCA where we can bring some federal money to help protect those riparian areas, and it'll help deliver our water and protect that Rio Grande corridor. So my take is really a win-win situation, and it sees both sides. It's not one side's winning or getting over the other one, and so we got to really be open, like we heard our people say up here, our panel, is that we have to work together, and it's all about studying the facts and doing what makes sense. That's my take.